All right, so let's do a little bit of mobility work using dynamic stretching. I'm a yoga teacher and we're gonna add a little bit of a flow to our movements. This is really good for active recovery day. We'll be doing dynamic stretching, mobility work, and some stability work. If you've had an injury and you're coming back, this is a really good thing to add. It's all body weight. All you need is a mat or a soft surface to work on, your own body. And again, we'll be doing mobility work using dynamic stretching and a little bit of stability, almost like corrective exercise movements. This is good for an active recovery day. I only have about 30 minutes to do some work here myself, so I'm just joining you in on my workout today. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll just come to a seated position. Let me get some of my stuff out of the way. Throw this over here. All right, and we will be dropping in. I'm a yoga teacher. I've been teaching yoga for about 15 years, so I like to use the breath work to kind of set the stage for our mobility practice today. So go ahead and find a seated position. If you're able to, close your eyes and start to breathe through the nose, keeping the mouth closed. Elongate the breath for about 4 seconds on your inhale and 4 seconds on your exhale. Starting to slow the rate of breathing. Kind of allow your body to settle in. And when you breathe, instead of sucking in on the inhale and lifting the shoulders, I want you to bring the breath lower. When you inhale, expand the ribs out, soften the belly, soften the back, stretch the pelvic floor slightly. So inhale, expand, and exhale, draw in. Just getting a really good breathing pattern to start. Relax the shoulders, try not to breathe using the neck, the shoulders. Breathe using the diaphragm, so you'll feel the ribs expand out when we use the diaphragm. Inhale, expand. Exhale, release. 2 more breaths. Bring a little smile to your face. Thank yourself for showing up today, being here, getting a little bit of some movement in. When you're ready, gently open your eyes. If your legs are crossed, go ahead and switch the way you've crossed them. Today I'm gonna have one ankle in front of the other. Inhale, reach your arms up, lengthen on the inhale, and then exhale, start to rotate the wrist in one direction, letting them fall down. So it's an inhale, expand the belly out, breathe low, and then exhale. Fully get out all the breath, so empty completely on your exhale. And we're just rounding the wrist, maybe switching directions this time, round in the opposite direction. Exhaling as you slowly lower down. Inhale, expand the ribs, expand the belly. Get a full 360-degree breath using the diaphragm, and then exhale out of the nose, really empty the breath all the way. Get rid of all your air and actually pull the belly in slightly on the end of that exhale. Inhale, expand. Breathe down, breathe low. Exhale. Let all the air come out of the body, empty completely, letting the rib cage come down. Good. Now inhale, reach one arm up and over. And then exhale, switch to the opposite side. Let's try inhale, center. Exhale, reach up and over. There we go. Inhale, center. Nice and slow. 4-second inhale. Exhale, reach up and over. Inhale, center. Exhale, reach up and over. This is a nice side body stretch. Inhale, center. Exhale, reach up and over. Continue moving side to side. This can kind of feel tight for many people. So breathe into any areas that feel tight. And know that this is not a movement we get to do very often. We're often in this sagittal plane where we're, moving forward. We don't move a lot side to side. So keep that going. You can start to speed it up. Beautiful. So I like these side body stretches, really good way, dynamic way to get the breath moving a little bit more. Get a little side bend, helping the spine out a bit. Unsticking your ribs, your intercostal muscles. Now come back to center, shake that off. Go ahead and bring your fingertips to the front of your shoulders. Roll the shoulders out, down, and around. Out, down, and around. So we're just like drawing a circle here with our elbows. Keep the mouth closed. Go back to that 4-4 breathing. 4-second inhale, 4-second exhale. Inhale, expanding in the ribs. Once you've done a couple rotations in your shoulders, getting some synovial fluid in that joint, waking it up, warming it up, let's go ahead and switch directions. So round back and forward. So for some people, you might feel a little bit of clicking in the shoulder. So the more you do this, actually, the less sticky the shoulders get, in my opinion. So this is a really good stretch to do, especially if you're at like the computer a lot, you drive a lot. This is really good work to do for the shoulders. Continue with that breathing pattern. Just notice if your tendency is to breathe shallow, I want you to really work on sending that breath down. Letting the belly open up on that inhale. Great job. Shake that off. Drop your chin down to your chest. So look down at your feet and then rock your head side to side. We're gonna stay in the front only today. My hair's all in my face, sorry. Okay, so just going side to side. I look like Cousin It, yeah? Side to side. All right, if you start to notice, keep going side to side. If you start to notice any one side is stickier than the other, you can kind of hang out, hold it there, breathe into that tight spot. Take a longer breath. Just kind of hold it for a second if you feel some tightness. Getting that neck to release a bit. Feels good, hopefully. Do a couple more side to side. Good, and then pull your shoulders up, squeeze your shoulders towards your ears. Tight. And release, let it go. Let's do another one. Inhale, pull the shoulders up, squeeze. Couple breaths here. Don't hold your breath. And then relax, let it go. One more. Squeeze up. Relax. Let's go ahead and come to tabletop. So that's on your hands and knees. Good position to work the spine here. Cat and cow, it's always one of my favorites. So we will inhale, look up, a little bit of an arch in the back, dropping the belly down, and then exhale, round, tucking the tail, tucking the glutes, looking towards your belly button. Big exhale. Breathe through the nose. Inhale, look up, arch your spine. Exhale, round, tuck the tail first, draw the belly in. Really get rid of all that air. Take your time here, inhaling and exhaling. Let your breath be the thing that goes first. So exhale, then move. Wait until you get rid of all that air, and then inhale, then move for your arching. Try to let the breath lead the movement. Good. And come back to neutral spine when you're ready. We're going to just like wag the tail is what I call it. So look over your shoulder towards your glute and kind of cock your hip to one side. And you'll go to the other side. So your spine's in neutral here. Try not to arch or bend it, but really we're doing side bending here. So look towards the glutes, and look towards the glutes opposite side. Go back to that controlled, relaxing breath. Side to side. Now, if this bothered you, being on your hands, your wrist for too long, you can come down to your forearms for the next exercise. But for this one, it's good to have a little bit of space to move side to side. So keep on going. More side body stretching. And again, if we're going to come back to center, I want you to come down to your forearms if this hurts your hands being up. It doesn't bother my wrist, so I'm going to stay high. From here, I want you to move your left foot more into the center of the mat. So closer towards the midline of your body. Instead of out, move it in. Then lift your right leg. So from here, we're going to just draw circles. Your circles might be small to start, and that's okay. Might have a little bit of popping in the hip. That's okay too. But if you are having any discomfort, make your circle a little smaller. So just like I made circles with the shoulders, I'm going to make now circles with the hips, working into the hips. This also helps too with the knee bent. It helps to activate the glutes a little bit. Go back to your breathing. You're going to have a slight brace in the core just to stabilize, but you should still be able to breathe into the rib cage, expanding the rib cage on inhale, and exhale, drawing the belly in kind of naturally, getting rid of all that air. Once you've done a few of these, just go ahead and switch directions. So we're rotating the hip, doing hip circles in the opposite direction. Good, getting a little warmth in that hip. And it doesn't matter, if your circles are small, maybe they're bigger than mine. What matters is that it feels good in your body. It's starting to warm up the body a little bit. Get some good blood flow to that area. If you're doing this for active recovery, this is really good for injury prevention. If you're doing this as your workout because you're a beginner, this is really good to get this mobility down. All right, nice job. Let's go ahead and come back real quick wherever you're at. Just come sit on your heels, toes are facing towards the mat. We're just gonna shake that out. Whatever that looks like to you, just shake it out. I'd like to move into the opposite side now, so go ahead and come back, tabletop position. Move your right knee a little bit more towards the midline, just centering it up a bit. Then your left leg comes up. This side is a lot, for me, I have a harder time doing the circles on this side. I have scoliosis, and so I manage, a lot of back issues. I've had back surgery in my history. And after having my 2 children, I just had a lot of spine problems. So for me, I struggle keeping the right and left side of my body balanced because naturally, my spine is not centered. So this work where I just work on the left side or just work on the right side regarding mobility, I've found has really been helpful in managing any chronic pain, any symptoms I have with my back. I'd love to hear, what your story is, why you came here. I'm a coach. One of my favorite things I get to do with my clients is really connect with them, get to know them, in a world where we're so connected, we're so disconnected. I found as a mom especially, it can be somewhat isolating, especially also as a mom who works from home and has a digital coaching company. I found that, it's so nice to connect with people. So I'd love to hear your story, what got you here, how this feels for you. Let's go ahead and switch opposite direction. So just like our shoulders, we're rotating, we're getting a circle in these joints, hips, shoulders, neck, wrist, that like circles. They like full range of motion, right? Keep breathing. I feel some heat in the body. It feels good. I am wearing a sweatshirt, and I do live in Florida, so it's cold today though. Rare occasion, it was in like the 40s when we woke up. So that's like a winter wonderland in Florida. All right, one more circle. Good job. So go ahead, sit it back here for a minute. I'm gonna come a little bit more towards the center so you can see me. And while you're sitting there, just stay where you're at. Bring one hand down and the right hand down, the left hand on top. Drop your thumbs down, close your eyes, and go back to that breath. Notice if you're breathing in your chest, neck, or shoulders, or doing the primary movement. And start to inhale, send that breath down and out. 360-degree breathing, horizontal breathing versus a vertical breathing. We want to breathe and open on the inhale. A couple more breaths here, just checking back in. The breath is what kind of connects the mind to the body, in my opinion. I think of it as that highway that will connect our busy mind, our emotional brain, all those things that's going on mentally for us, to our body. And we kind of get into the present moment. A big pillar of mindfulness is the breath, because it has such the ability to bring you into the now. And since we've sat on our toes, I want to go ahead and curl the toes under real quick and sit back on our feet. So give your feet a little love. And this can be like, I'm almost out of the picture, sorry about that. But this can be pretty intense on the toes, so just give it a couple breaths. Working on that movement in the toes is good. Good, now your right leg is gonna come forward, and I want you to keep the left toes curled under. So we're still working on the feet a little bit now. You will start to rock forward and back. So my left toes are curled under, and I'm literally just getting a forward motion and a back motion. Like you're getting ready to, like a runner's getting ready to sprint. So my spine is long. Kind of a half hinging pattern on the left side. And you're getting that stretch in the feet and in the Achilles. On the next one, I want you to switch positions. So right leg goes back now, keep the toes curled under. Left leg comes forward, and we start to rock back and forth, or forward and back. Getting a little bit of movement here. If this bothers your knees, you never want to do anything. Every body is different, so not every exercise is for every body. So if something, this feels good to me, but it might feel awful to you, and I never want you to do anything that hurts. That there are so many movement patterns that we can do that feel good. I never want you to do anything that hurts. I'm very, very big on that. I'm not, push through your limitations. No, I believe we have limitations and we need to work with and love and respect our limitations. And that's cool. That's cool. All right, nice job. So go ahead and sit on your glutes. We will start to extend both legs out. I don't have a lot of flexibility here. I've definitely worked on this, but it doesn't matter how wide your legs are, just have them out. And I want you to move around to where you kind of are sitting on your sits bones. We'll go right back to that side bending here. So I go from one side to the other, inhaling in the center, exhaling side to side. Back to dynamic movements for our spine. Using the breath to guide the movement. Inhale, center, fully exhale as you stretch up and over. My neck is just kind of staying in alignment with my spine. See, there's a little arch here. Now it comes back to center, and then a little bit of an arch on this side. Good. Two more. Beautiful work. From here, we're going to come up to our knees. I'll have the right leg, or this will be your left leg, but do your right. So right leg will extend out, toes are flat, and then we'll walk our hands kind of forward. I'm getting a little close to you. Now sink back. My back toes are facing the ground. So I'm sinking back. This is an adductor stretch. I want you to feel it right here in this outer thigh, or inner thigh, excuse me. Maybe you feel it in the outer thigh, but more inner thigh. And what we're working on again is another hinge pattern. So we're sending our hips back into an extension. And you're getting a nice dynamic stretch using motion, movement, dynamic versus static, which is a hold. So this is a little bit more of an active stretch. And I like to just stick with a 4-4 breathing pattern. It's called a balanced breathing pattern. So 4-second inhale, followed by a 4-second exhale. For me, this stretch feels awesome. At first, it didn't. It took me a little bit, maybe a little smaller movements when I first started. I just kind of rocked small movements. So when you're working, there is a way to kind of decrease the range of motion at first, so you can start to make some leverage towards full range of motion, but you're not overdoing it. So I always recommend that. Okay, let's do one more. Good. Curl the toe up, pull it in. Just notice for a second the difference between the leg you just worked, lengthening out, versus the other leg, and let's go ahead and work the opposite side. So again, my toes are flat and they're like parallel with the mat. Then I walk my hands forward. The back toes, if you can see them, my toes are down. Then just start to, maybe you go small, little rocks to start. Forward and back. Breathe through the nose. Breathing through the nose also helps to warm the body, so that's good. Breathing through the nose filters and warms the air that comes in. It'll slow your breathing rate and decrease the volume of air that you just suck in. So breathing through the nose can slow the air down. Many of us are breathing too fast throughout the day. So you might be breathing, like throughout the day. Those are really short, shallow breathing patterns. When you have the mouth open, you're more likely to be breathing more of a short, shallow breathing pattern versus breathing through the nose. And really letting the diaphragm do the work versus the shoulders and the neck. So when we breathe through the nose, we send that breath down, allow the ribs to open up. When we breathe out of the mouth, we're also signaling our sympathetic nervous system, because it makes your body think you're stressed out about something. So you will be more stressed, more anxious throughout the day if you're breathing out of the mouth. And then also breathing out of the nose increases our nitric oxide. So nitric oxide helps with blood circulation, lymphatic, and stimulates our lymphatic system. So it will also decrease our blood pressure, which is really good, obviously. So there's a lot of benefits to breathing from the nose versus breathing out of the mouth. And a lot of my clients, when we're first starting, they don't think they're breathing out of their mouth, but then they start to tune in for a couple weeks and they're like, oh wow, I breathe out of my mouth all the time. So I encourage you to just check in, see how you're doing with that. All right, I'll stop talking. Pull that leg in, drop back in, see how you're feeling. Let me check the time. Just a few more minutes together. I'd like to finish on our back. You're welcome. So one of my favorite. And if you have any, pressure management issues, ab separation, pelvic floor problems, low back problems, I think it's nice to come down on your side first, like roll down on your side like I just did, then roll over on your back. Just a tip, just a tip. Lots of tips today, right? So go ahead and find your neutral spine by arching and flattening a few times. Just find what feels good for you, make any adjustments you need to, I always do. So we're getting a little bit again of a pelvic tilt here just for a few breaths. Then come to your neutral, whatever that feels like. Good. Now from here, I want you to reach in, grab your shins, and we'll take a little bit of a bound angle here with a tiny bit of rocking. So this tiny, don't overdo this rocking, it's not like this. Okay, it's really small, getting a little bit of traction on the low back. As you breathe in, feel the ribs expand. Feel that low back expand when you breathe in, pressing into the mat. So you can get a little bit of a stretch in the low back on the inhale, which is awesome. Added benefit to breathing in a correct pattern. Little bit of side to side movement. Let this feel good on your low back. Try to be soft in your hands, even though you're holding on with your shins. Just try to be a little soft in your jaw. Good. Go ahead and move your hands to your knees. I like to call this stirring the pot. So again, with the circles, we start to circle in, around, and out. And we're gonna go in both directions, so don't worry too much which direction you start it to circle in. But you're basically just guiding your knees, giving yourself a nice range of motion, not overdoing it, just letting it feel good. I sometimes like to roll my ankles at this time too, because I'm a mom and I multitask. I know it's not good, but I try to get a couple things done at once. If you don't like that, you don't have to do it. Just offering it up. It's kind of like patting your head, and doing a circle in your stomach is kind of a mental trick too. It's a little difficult to do at first. Okay, then switch directions with your circles. Go the opposite direction. Really good job today. So this lesson ended up being more of the mobility work. We didn't get much stability work in. Maybe I'll do another video with core stability exercises. A little bit about me, I've been a yoga teacher for about 15 years, a Pilates teacher as well, and I got my master's in physiology. I do a lot of stress management coaching, a lot of life coaching, nutrition coaching, just all the aspects of wellness. So if you like this and you're looking for a coach, go ahead and get connected with me. I work one-on-one with my clients virtually. Like I said, I'm a mama too. And so working from home is really important for me at this stage of my life. All right, drop your feet down. We're going to do one more thing, traction for our low back. So really, again, small movements in this traction. Sometimes if I'm having like a lot of low back pain, again with scoliosis, we tend to get like tight on one side and really weak, and like short on the other side, or short and tight on one side and kind of long on the other side. And you really do struggle with a lot of muscle imbalances. So I found that this traction, just keeping the knees close together, the feet close together, and that little gentle rocking is really, really nice. I could do this, sometimes at night I'll lay down and I'll do this for 5 or so minutes. and allow it to really settle. This is a good time to put your hands on your belly or even on your ribs and start to feel that breath as it comes in, expanding the ribs out. Really good job today. We'll finish with a quick Shavasana, just a moment where we can let go. That's always my favorite part of yoga, is the Shavasana. So I don't want to rob you of that. If you're not into it, you could turn the video off now, but maybe try it if you're new. So go ahead and extend both legs out. Let your hips open up naturally. Palms are going to face up and out away from you. And try to center your neck. If you can, lift your head up slightly, look down. And we're almost like lengthening the spine, then drop your head back down. So your chin will be tucked slightly, but it lengthens out the cervical spine. Close your eyes. Try not to control your breathing anymore. Let it be more natural. So we practice being peaceful in our breath so that our mind and even our body can be more at rest, more peaceful. So with a peaceful breath, it's kind of natural for the mind and body to align to that more stable, less erratic, peaceful breath. That's why we practice slower breathing, why we practice diaphragmatic breathing. And the more you check in with your breath throughout the day, that's mindfulness. That's the more you're practicing the art, the journey, really, of being mindful, of not allowing your circumstances and your emotions and even what's going on in your physical body to control you. But being able to drop in and witness in almost a non-judgmental way what's going on and coming from a place of acceptance, and when we start to be able to drop in like that, to be in our bodies, to respect our mind, we start to get in more balance, more alignment. So I really feel in my life the breath has been so instrumental to feeling more peaceful, to overcoming chronic pain, to overcoming anxiety, panic attacks that I experienced postpartum. And I'm sure you have your list of things you've overcome. But I invite you to use the breath as another tool for modulating your nervous system. For if you're feeling very amped up, you're feeling very emotional, could you come into the breath, do a short breathing practice to restabilize, to get back into balance? And the answer is yes, you can. So use this practice as just another tool to live a more peaceful, balanced life. Enjoy the next couple minutes of silence, letting go, surrendering, just being in peace. Bring the attention back to the breath. Inhaling for 4 seconds. Exhaling with an open mouth. Fully get rid of the air. And try it again. Inhale through the nose. Expand. Open mouth, exhale. One more. Inhale. And big exhale, letting it go. When you're ready, roll towards the screen. Hi. You can take a minute here and just like a fetal position, feeling the safety, the comfort of this pose. Take the top hand and press it into the ground, slowly lifting yourself up. Take your time and come back to a seated position. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you come back. That was my first follow along lesson. So I'm all about growing. So if there's any feedback or comments or other videos you want to see from me, let me know. Have a great day and namaste to you. Have a great day. Bye.